once you get in a ring, it's quite an interesting experience, because people think you're just bashing each other about, but it's not. You've got to work the other person's rhythms out, work what combinations he's using, work how you're going to combat that, how you're going to counter it. It's really quite a cerebral thing, I think. It's a thinking man's game, not a thinking person's game. There's a lot of ladies do it now as well. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. It's not just bashing each other. You've got to really work out a strategy. And as well, it works on your fitness, which is really important when you get to an age. Everything starts heading south. You've got to do something, use it or lose it.
I wish that I had discovered it when I was younger. I think it would have helped me to become more confident, I think it would have helped me to be more disciplined in my life, and I'd be more respectful of other people, to consider other people's state of mind and opinions more at a younger age. I was a horribly rowdy, unpleasant young woman, and a right punk, and quite anarchic, and I think doing something that required the physical and mental discipline of boxing at an earlier age would have been very, very good for me. And I've seen it be very good for young men and women.
Personally, I myself think that the stereotype people see is, boxing, it's full of people who want to beat people up. It's not. Boxing's a sport, it's an art. You need to learn the art before you can actually go in there. It took me a lot to go in and, learn. And I'm still learning. Everyone's still learning. I've been doing it 4 years. There's people who's been doing it 20, 30 years, and they're still learning. Every fight you learn, win, lose or draw. Personally, I say that it takes a man to get in there, but it's not just about a man doing it. I've got female boxers; they do it as well. So
that vibe in amongst the people who box and the people who are kind of around that scene together, there is a real genuine camaraderie that's associated with it because of that understanding of the psychology of combat, I suppose, a little bit, and facing the fear. That is, I don't think you get that in maybe other sports that I've noticed, and I think that's quite compelling, because camaraderie, or having like a family or an extended family, is a very strong and compelling thing for anyone, I think.
And it is a real shock, because you do think going to a boxing gym it's going to be full of big scary men wanting to beat the crap out of each other, and it's not like that at all. Everyone's actually the complete opposite from my experience, and so I think it's a really good thing for women, certainly, to get involved in. I know it's got that stigma of being a bit of a man's sport and aggression, but it's not like that.
I'm a lot less aggressive since I've taken up boxing than before, definitely. And when you see people who are usually novices getting aggressive in the ring, they're not boxing properly. Then there's a difference between fighting and boxing. And boxing is a skill, and you can't, like any skill, if you're angry and out of control and not exercising the discipline of the skill, then you're not actually really engaging with it properly.
But yeah, psychologically, it's terrifying, but that's part of the appeal, really, is controlling that and then making that work for you. You can even let it control you. I used to box with a load of lads, and they were great when they were sparring, training. As soon as they got into the ring for a fight, a competition fight, they just got bits, they'd be tense, they couldn't hack it because the fear got to them. So combating that's another thing as well. It's like combating yourself rather than your opponent.
I was going down the bad road anyway, drinking quite a bit, going out, being a bit of a lout, and things I was never brought up to do. And I needed something what would make me disciplined.
But also it gives you a kind of peacefulness as well. I mean, I think if people box more, there'll actually be less violence, because I think a lot of people, especially like on the Saturday nights, they get into fights and everything. You'll probably find boxers don't do that sort of thing because they're confident in themselves. If people taunt them, they know themselves, how they handle themselves. They've got no reason to feel like ashamed or intimidated anyway into a fight, because they box and they spar, so they're very confident in themselves. So they can quite happily walk away from a situation that maybe other people who don't box or do other forms of martial arts may try and react to sort of prove themselves. With a boxer, you don't have to prove yourself outside of the boxing ring.